Good evening and welcome to another edition of Let's Face It. I'm your host, Sheppard Smugly, and on tonight's episode we look at another in our series of investigations on the graying of America. A topic that many people are concerned with and even shocked by is the rate of sex among the elderly. It's a touchy subject, but we decided to go to this, well, how should I put it, old folks' home in Southern California to speak with Whitly Gerard, who is known by the ladies there as something of a player. Mr. Gerard, could you give us your opinion, or rather perhaps expertise, on the issue of, well, sex among the elderly?
Oh, yeah, sex among the elderly, well, first of all, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. That's something you have to remember, not even if you're young, but even at my age. It takes a great deal of willpower, imagination, and pharmaceuticals, even to make it happen. But that said, it happens all the time. Just because, what else are you going to do? You can't just watch the wheel every day. And ever since, please, Louis Anderson on The Family Feud, it's a disgrace. So there's nothing really that we can do, excuse me, except, have intercourse. And, well, all I can say is that it happens. I'd really rather not go into any details, Sheppard.
Well, sir, I wouldn't want to pressure you into saying anything that you're uncomfortable with, but that said, I know that our viewers are curious as to the sort of, well, what shall we say? There's a rumor that there's a lot of promiscuity among the elderly today. Is that true?
Well, yeah, that's as true as it can be. But just the mechanics of it, or to make it happen, what I like to do is a lot of role playing. You see, excuse me. Role playing is really crucial. I like to dress up as a scuba diver because, as you know, I already have the oxygen, and then what I do is I add the goggles and the snorkel, and there's many puns involved, with going down and whatnot, and so that can make it fun. And then, of course, there's always, you need to find an imaginative or at least a willing partner to engage in these sorts of activities.
I see. And as far as willing partners go, are there many of them there where you live?
Well, yeah, there are. I have my personal favorites, which, any of the girls you can find that they have, when they have the Alzheimer's, they're the best because they don't, you don't get a call the next morning. They can't press charges. They can't pick you out of a lineup, and you can have a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun. You can dress them up. You can tell them, it's prom night. You can give them a name, and they'll play along. And then the next day, you can go with the same one, and you can just do a whole other thing. You give them another name. You dress them up like, like a cowgirl or something, and they go along. And they're really a lot of fun, I think, and remarkably hassle-free, I should say. Well, thank you,
sir. I believe that's all the time we have for this installment of Let's Face It. I have been your host, Sheppard Smugly. Please tune in next week for our episode on, we'll have an episode, I promise. Good night.